welcome back to my breakdown and review of My Hero Academia Season 6 with today, Episode 9, The League of Villains vs. UA Students, covering chapters 279, 280, 281, and barely scraping on 282. So we start off with the bit of Midnight's speech from the end of the last episode, and then Yayorozu's plan starting before going right into the OP. Nothing much to talk about. So I'm going to say this up front. This whole section is faithfully adapted, but like the order Richard adapts the panels is just absolutely jumbled. It's not jumbled in a bad way, but like there's so many little swap arounds and whatnot. I'm not going to mention everything because there's too much to go over. I'll just mention like the big changes I want to mention. We start off in the adaptation of chapter 279 with us finally getting the details on Yayorozu's plan and explained out to us. That being, they're gonna fucking just throw some undiluted anesthetic straight into his mouth to knock the fucker out. And then in terms of the prep time, they do change a decent amount of it. Mainly, Hananuki's puddle that he's making isn't like last second being made. He's got a bit of time making it. And Minetta's line he says about, you know, hey, Midnight, she's fine, right? He's doing that this time while throwing stuff, not just stood around. And then Tokage, her little line about Makia nearly being there is moved over from when Hananuki was making the puddle in the manga to when Yayorozu is planting the bombs here in the anime. We then get Mount Lady still clinging on for dear life onto Makia, and actually a bit of added dialogue with Nali talking about, hey, big bitch here, how the fuck do we get rid of her? With then Makia reaching the rear guard, and then boom, title card. League of Villains versus UA Students. Bit of a mouthful, but I mean, any title's going to feel weak after Disaster Walker, you know? Before I talk on what happens, I want to go on a little mini tangent here on this shot of Kendo's arms. Holy shit, I fucking love this shot. Because this is not something I've talked about online before. I'll probably talk about this like in a TikTok or something. Go follow me. I personally think Kendo should have a more muscular physique. I'm talking like someone like Mirko here. Like, she's got proper abs, she's got muscles in the arms, maybe some in the legs, but mostly in the arms. I think it makes sense for Kendo. She's a hand-to-hand combatant, and she's a martial artist. I think a buff physique makes sense for her, and I feel like if Horikoshi had introduced her later than he had, she most definitely would have had that kind of physique. Now, little tangent aside, I love this whole section. Makia just looking about like, huh? The vines and the tape wrapping around his neck. Fucking Sato just yanking on his jaw. My god, that got some love. This isn't about adaptation. I just love Shoji carrying Aoyama like a fucking missile launcher and using him as a gun against the league. It's dumb, but it's cool. I fucking love it. And now, this little bit here, with Dabi burning up Jiro's amplifier jacks and her cord things, I really like it. And I think they've done it better here in the anime than it was done in the manga. For a very simple change that makes Dabi's like reaction feel faster in the anime than it does in the manga. Basically, in the manga here, like, it's a little panel of Dabi reaction, then the burning. But here, it's one smooth motion of just Dabi turning around and seeing it, burning it instantly. It's a small change, but I fucking love it here. Also, Jiro getting burnt up, I'm all for that, because, you know, fuck Jiro. All my homies love Jiro, so I'm a hater. Here is a subtle change that, for me personally, I'm not fond of. It's not bad necessarily, but it's not something I'm keen on. And it's Kaminari's tags landing here on the league. Because here in the manga, there's this panel of Shoji and Ojiro doing some movement. Ojiro with his tail, Shoji with his arms, that we don't get here in the anime. And that happens just before all of the tags fly onto the league. For me, it gives off the implication that they had a bunch and they fucking threw them at them. And then Kaminari got launched in the air by Yanagi and went to do a selector thing. I think that implies that, you know, there's more strategy going on. You know, it lets Kaminari come and suddenly have to jump one tags on him, not he has to fly up and then do the tags. Whereas here in the anime, they kind of just fly out of nowhere. Again, it's not inherently a bad change, it's just one I'm not keen on. And then here, I do think Kaminari getting bombarded by compressors debris is done better here in the manga. It looks like it has more impact. It's like being more rough at him. In the anime, it doesn't feel like it has much impact. The debris feels kind of light. But then we get some added cuts of everyone's reactions and Sato hyping the group up before we get this one panel turned into many shots, which I very much like. And then Maki just blowing them all away. It looks really fucking good and has some great music timing with it. And there's a change here I really like that they did with Dabi burning up the forest, because here in the manga, Maki, you know, blew them all away, whatever, and then Dabi launched a massive attack to burn up the forest. Here in the anime, Dabi actually launched the fire into the Rin stream to help spread it out across the fires. I love this change because, again, it's making Dabi look more cool, calm, and collected, and more strategic, which I think is amazing. He saw the Rin stream and just threw his fire into it to make it more effective. He has to use less fire, and it spreads out just as far. A small change, but I love it. And then this shot here looks amazing. But also this line they added for Dabi when Toga goes, "Is your arm okay?" He just goes, "Dunno." It's just a simple line change, but I really like it because it builds onto his character more. He doesn't care if his arm's fine or not. He's not paying attention to it. He's got a plan and he's focused on that. It's amazing. And this little transition of like Maki's mouth opening to Momo detonating bombs, I really like it. God damn, do I wish that was me. I really like this bit as a whole. I do think Mount Lady jumping on Maki looks a little bit more impactful here as mangas because it's sudden and seems like she's just fucking slamming his head into the ground before prying that motherfucker open. Lucky bastard. But other than that, I really like this moment. And now we got the 1A GOAT coming through just before the stingers for the episode and finishing off our adaptation of chapter 279. And Momo being the first character we see and showing that we've been spelling her hero name wrong apparently. It's not Creati with an I like we have been doing it. It's Creati with a Y according to Bones. Fair. And then we get Kirishima, and this is the first episode where the colours for the two are very similar. Although Momo's is redder than Kirishima's, oddly enough. And then we start off our adaptation of chapter 2A with the fire just going out of control. And I love the colours and lighting here. I think they've been excellent all season particularly. And then the 1A goat herself, Mina, just running through the fire using her acid man since it protects her from fire in amazing detail. And I really love the performance here by Eri Kitamura. It is excellent, and Yasuhiro Mamiya does an amazing job here as Maki as well. Now, this whole section I think was done excellently. The slow change in Mina's facial expressions, the fade to grayscale, the blink transition going from the main flashback to present day with obviously a bit more flashback coming through, and then the colours only returning once Mina's changed into a younger self within the middle school uniform. Excellent. I love this whole section. Mina's one of my favourite characters, and I think this was done perfect justice. And then the music just getting an oomph to it as Maki just grabs Mount Lady and throws her again, just more disrespect towards her. And then this shot of him just going in for the kill on Mina is excellent. I think it's great. And then Kirishima coming through, I fucking love it. Literally just shoving her to the side. Fucking bitch, move! And then as Maki slams him into the ground, that fucking like clanging sound we get, I'm fairly sure it's supposed to be from Unbreakable, but it makes me feel like Maki's skin is that fucking tough that Kirishima's hardening is scratching against it. I love it. I thought it was excellent. But something I want to touch on real quick, and it's throwing me off, it's Mina's costume, because here in this shot, why does it have that like green screen background effect? I don't know the name of the effect. If someone could inform me, that'd be excellent. But like with the color pattern, it's not a still color pattern that moves with. It's like a background effect that her costume's been green screen to have that effect. It's really jarring, and I can't find any other example of it being used here in the anime, like for a main shot like this. But then this bit of Maki is standing up to look over the fire and picking up the league looks sick as shit. And Kirishima just climbing him again, it's nice. And the sound effect of his hands piercing the skin again, it's like something hard breaking against a brick wall or something hard stuff. It's excellent. I'm so glad they went with this and not just like a fleshy stab effect. And then Toga's knife throw here and then Kirishima's throwing with Nados both have some really good fucking animation on it. And then this little ending shot here, I really like all of it. They added shots of Hananuki drowning the forest fire. Don't know, it's California. And they even changed out an event here ever so slightly with this bit here. In the manga, Momo was throwing a fire blanket over Jiro as she gave information to Majestic stood in the middle of the forest. However, here in the anime, Momo, Jiro, and Hagakure all sat on top of a mountain. Those two already have the fire blanket on them, while Momo gives the information over to Majestic. Small change, it's not a pro, it's not a con, just again, something I've got to point out. And now here, this ending bit, they extended Maki's transformation here. As in the manga, it was just a shot of the jawline going over as a faceplate, and then it cuts over to the other section with Shige's fight. Whereas here, the faceplane goes up, we see the transformation go through, we get reaction shots from everyone. It's a really nice change and I love it. And then we cut over to the start of Shiggy's speech, capping off chapter 280 and then starting off chapter 281. Okay, first and foremost, the fucking music here for Shiggy's speech. Holy shit. This goes hard, like, fuck me. And then the animation for specifically Shiggy as he, like, stands up, the cracks growing in his body. His facial expressions and animation, that little smile he does near the end of his speech. This whole section, all of Shiggy's speech, is done fucking amazing. And I don't care if he's gotten it before. Koki Uchiyama is getting the MVP award again because he fucking nailed this fucking speech. All of this bit was done excellently. And then Shiggy jumping out of Endeavor's fire, the animation looks good. The art for Shiggy's face looks fucking excellent. The facial expression, again, is nailed. And then Gran Torino slamming him into the ground looked good. Shiggy's face, this is all so fucking good. And then this little section of animation of everyone rushing over to help Aizawa, Endeavor, Bakugo, and then Deku. I love this shot. It's so small, but it's so fucking good. And then Shiggy just fucking slamming his fist through Gran Torino. It's brutal as fuck. And then I love this little bit of Deku and Shiggy passing each other, but this little screen grab here of Shiggy rushing over. Oh, I fucking love the art for this little bit. It's so fucking raw. And then Ryukyu here stopping Shiggy. I love how massive she looks. She looks fucking massive compared to everyone here. It's amazing. And then Deku jumping on his back. I love the little dialogue exchange here, especially Shiggy's line here of, I thought the delivery was fucking excellent. And then that gut punch Shiggy fucking gives to him, while I think it has more impact here in the manga, here in the anime, I still love how it's done. It feels more realistic, which I really would have loved if it was a massive impact, but I still think it was done excellently here. Although I will say, Deku having Black Grip bind Shiggy, I feel like it was done weak here in the anime. I feel like I was hoping we got some animation from the Black Grip coming out and just binding around him, but no, it kind of just happened. But it's not enough for me to not like this section. I still think this is all amazing. And then this bit here of Shiggy getting the delete round out ends off in the adaptation for chapter 281, a very quick chapter done. And then we go straight into 282 with them finding out he has a delete round. They actually change out how the scene plays, as here in the manga, Deku just fucking slams down on him and then they learn of the delete round. But here they learn of the delete round and then Deku hits him to stop him from firing off the delete round. I don't think I've spent any other, and that fucking Wyoming smash, it was so fucking good. But I will say, Shiggy's jaw does not look as fucked here in the anime as it did here in the manga. I do confer it just it being fucking torn up, like Deku's fucking ripping it off with that hit. Dude, Shiggy flicking off the delete round, it landing in Aizawa's leg, that little glow in the eye, episode end. Just 4 pages of chapter 282. I fucking loved this. I've predicted that the end of the section was going to be like the next page, because again, I'm 1 page off. There's also a change here in that here in the manga, just before that happens, we see Shiggy pull out more delete rounds and Bakugo fires off an AP shot, destroying them. We don't actually see that here. I'm assuming that's going to be in the next episode. I know, I'm late. I'm doing a double upload today and I'm going to try get back on track. It's difficult from the new job. I'm contemplating going back to the last job because I had a much better life balance. But yeah, I'm sorry about being late. Not that anyone's really watching these other than me, mate. But yeah, I really enjoyed the episode. I thought it was great. And you're going to be able to know my thoughts on the next episode like as soon as this is also up. So go watch that. Sorry for being late. Thank you for being patient. If you're one of the people actually coming back and watching this, it means a lot, and I'm grateful that these are getting views. I'm gonna end this recording and go straight into the next one. So thank you for watching. Hope to see you in the next video in a minute.